The second passage, in that first paragraph, when you get an author saying questions about the extent, I'm in line 8, the extent to which biotech patenting is hindering basic research have recently come to the fore, they're one of two ways, basically, the author can go. She can go on to just lay out those questions, in which case she's just saying, this is a tricky subject. Or she can challenge those questions. She can answer those questions. This author does the latter thing. She says, all those people that are so worried about biotech patents should just unwind your lax. And that is what I would say to Francisco, my friend, if I were to describe what I had just read. I might point to the very last line of the passage. Researchers know that patents bring economic rewards as well as a degree of licensing control. Patents are good. They're not bad. They're actually just fine. So when we're asked for the main point of the passage, I want something that says, despite the questions to the contrary, patents are fine. Answer choice D, concerns by researchers that biotech patents will negatively affect their ability to conduct basic research are misguided. Patents, fine. Question 8, as with every other question, we'll go back to the passage and simply answer it. What would the researchers in line 30 and 31 believe? Well, what did they say? They oppose the biotech patents because they fear that corporate holders will charge fees for the right to conduct basic research. They believe B, the inventor should not be allowed to charge fees that would prevent its use in basic research. Just straight from the passage. And the same thing with question 9. Why do the researchers believe that patents should be granted? In the first paragraph, I'm in line 6. The researchers, that's in line 4. The researchers share this view that they should be patented because they rely on funding that is conditional on patentability. B, their funding is contingent on whether or not they can produce a patentable product. That's exactly what we wanted. And that's the idea. It's in the text. Go back, put your thumb on the place, and there's your answer. Number 10, something that the author said. Something that she said. It's not what you think she might agree with. I'll go to line 43. These people are just mistaken when they assume that granting a patent implies granting the right to deny access. Denying access is just, the whole idea is questionable, and here's why. First, line 47. Patent litigation is expensive, and it's an expensive endeavor, and it is one that's usually initiated only to protect a market position. It's expensive. You're not going to just go out suing people willy-nilly. That's what the author says. C, the cost of patent litigation is an effective check on patent holders who might otherwise try to prevent researchers. The whole point of that paragraph is that they're not going to prevent them, and the first reason is that the cost of litigation is too high. Straight up said in the passage. Question 11, why mention the early days of biotech? What is the author saying there? Well, she says, I'm in line 35, it's true that the communal tradition of freely sharing materials has shifted to a market model. But it's also undoubtedly true that even in the early days, some researchers took measures to prevent competitors. Why does she mention them? To show that this market pressure, this idea of competition, is not new. It has existed since the early days. Answer choice B, the present competitive practices are not entirely unprecedented. It is not new. Question 12, again, it has to be something that we say in the passage, and I'll point to lines 16, 17. These restrictions are seen as arising either from enforcement or through congradulal. That's not even a word. Enforcement or through contractual agreement. So D, suing for infringement, enforcement, is not the only way in which you can assert legal control. The other would be a contract. And it's in the passage. We know it for sure. Finally, for this passage, question 13, you're going to conduct basic non-commercial research. What would the author say about the prospects of being able to do that? And she talks about that in the last paragraph. I'm in line 52. Second, there's been a tradition among judges, to respect a completely non-commercial research exception to patent infringement. So they provide an exception. If you're doing non-commercial work, you're cool. Answer choice D, a good chance of not being held liable. And as with every, I don't know, I really liked this passage. It seemed like even the text of the answer choices just came straight from the passage in so many instances. But as always, it's about identifying what the author said and our understanding, our hey Francisco kind of understanding of the main point of the passage colors everything else, right?